I never applied. No interview, no paperwork. That morning, in a rusted mailbox I hadn't checked in months, a single folded paper. No stamp, no sender. Just 2 words in the center. Night shift. Below it, a hand-drawn map. Blue ink, water smudged. A red X marked one spot. Carroway Shelter, Northern Ridge. I tried Google Maps, nothing. Typed the raw coordinates. Only trees. Endless forest. And yet, I drove. Rain smashed the windshield. The road thinned into mud. Branches scraped the sides. The air turned sharp. Rotting leaves mixed with rust, like the forest knew I was coming, like it was calling me. At one turn, the tires slipped. My heart jumped. Then, through the fog, a crooked sign. Emergency shelter. Do not enter unless instructed. No voices, no birds, just rain. Heavy, slow, like it was waiting for something else to move first. The building stood behind the trees. Cracked concrete, mossy walls, steel door shut tight. But inside, the lights were on. I knocked. Once, nothing. Twice, silence. Third time, click. The door creaked open. A woman in her 60s stood there. She didn't ask my name, didn't meet my eyes. Her gaze floated past me, like adjusting a frame I wasn't in. She handed me a scorched sheet of paper. Red ink still wet. A drop hit my finger, then fell to the floor. Across the top, bold. 5 rules for staying alive. Do not break. Rule 1. When the silver bell rings, drop everything and return to your room. Rule 2. Don't open the door after 3 a.m., even if they say your name. The rest was smeared, unreadable. I swallowed. Is there any contract or forms? Her voice was dry, flat. If you're holding the keys, that means the shelter picked you. I looked down. In my hand, I didn't even notice before, a gold ring of silver keys. Beside it, a small silver bell. Number 27 carved underneath. It jingled. Soft. Ding. The sound cut through me, straight down the spine. I froze. Not just from the bell, but because I'd heard it before, in a locked room. On the night everything changed. The night, nothing ever came back the same. It was close to 3 a.m. Rain hammered the roof like it wanted in. I sat in the control room, alone, eyes on a static-filled screen, coffee cold, ice long gone. Then, a sound, soft, bare feet brushing tile, rats, pipes. Then, whispers, not from the radio, not the speakers. Right behind me, close, breathing close. I turned on my flashlight. The steps stopped, but the whispering didn't. It dragged on, slow and wet, like a voice crawling up from under the floor. I followed it. Down the hallway, Harper said never to check. The lights flickered, air thick, damp, cold like a flooded grave. Mud snaked across the tile, twisting toward an unmarked steel door. Rust ate the handle. Black slime leaked underneath, alive looking, like it pulsed. And right in front of it, a little girl. White dress streaked in dirt, hair soaked and hanging, bare feet locked to the ground like roots. She pressed her ear to the door, whispering, "Mommy, I can hear you." Her hand reached for the latch, the fingers too long, nails sharp, gray, wrong. Not a child's hand. I grabbed her. She spun, slashed across my wrist. It burned, like dry ice and fire. My skin blistered on contact. I froze. Her eyes, milky white, empty, dead. Then she blinked. Pupils turned soft brown. Tears welled. Lips trembled. I got lost. I don't know where I went. I wrapped my coat around her, led her away. But the hallway didn't lead back. Left turn, same hallway. Another, still the same. Exit sign blinked, then glitched. Not exit. My throat locked, heart pounding behind my eyes. She clutched my hand. Her breath hit my skin. Ice cold, like broken stone. The lights strobed. In a harsh flash, her shadow separated, lagged, then snapped back. I froze. Eventually, I dragged her back to the main wing. Medical rushed in. They asked her name. She didn't remember anything. I went back. The door was still there. So was the mud. But now, 2 small handprints on the steel, smudged, like they'd been there for years. I told Harper. She didn't flinch, didn't speak, just picked up the silver bell. Ding. It barely rang, but slammed straight through my spine. Then she said, low and even, "They always test the kids first." I glanced at the isolation room. The girl sat alone, in the dark, still, eyes wide open, unblinking. Harper whispered, "Because they know. Adults won't believe it." 2:58 a.m. I was checking the West Wing cameras when a sharp screech cut through the silence behind me. High, thin, cold as a razor. I nearly spilled my coffee. The PA system, which Harper disconnected yesterday, lit up on its own. No warning light. No one touched the console. Then came a voice, childlike, warped, like a chewed-up cassette. "Don't let them do it again. Don't let me become the next part." The echo stretched unnaturally, like someone ripping a voice straight from their throat. I locked up. That voice. It sounded like me. I ran to the control room. Board was dark. Mic cable sealed. Nothing had moved. Then, ding, the silver bell on the desk rang by itself. Clean, precise, straight down my spine like a frozen knife. In my head, Rule 1, echoed. When the silver bell rings, return to your room. I didn't move. My hand clenched around the flashlight. Every instinct screamed, "Go back." But the whispering, it got louder, clearer, coming from the west stairwell. I knew I was breaking the rules, but if I turned back now, I'd never know. So I went. I opened the stairwell door. It creaked, like someone had just let go of the handle. dust, stale air. Third step down, an old speaker lay in the corner. Faint green light blinking underneath. I leaned in. Crack. A harsh blast hit my ear. I flinched. Pain shot through my head. Flashlight sputtered, then died. The speaker hissed, then stuttered. Don't I looked up. My shadow stretched across the wall. But behind me, another shadow moved. I spun around. Harper was there, standing at the bottom of the stairs. No sound. No breath. No warning. She raised her hand, rang the bell. Ding. Dry. Hollow. The sound vibrated in my skull like static in bone. Then she said, flat and low, "If it uses the voice of someone you know, don't react." I turned back to the speaker. The green light blinked once, then died. And then, a voice. Clear. Close. Whispered straight into the mic. "I don't want to go back inside." I froze. It wasn't a recording. It wasn't a copy. It was me. My voice. From the night nobody came. The night I begged, and no one answered. 4:01 a.m. 3 knocks. Even. Slow. Like a metronome, keeping time with my bones. I glanced at the west hallway camera. Only static. A single raindrop slid across the lens. No figure. No movement. I grabbed my flashlight and ran upstairs. The wind howled, metal groaned. My light flickered, almost dead. The front door stood still, handle dark, frozen from the inside. I pressed my face to the glass. A woman stood outside, hair soaked, cloak streaked in mud, face blurred, like a shaky sketch drawn mid-fever. She looked up, her eyes wide, panicked, but something didn't line up. The timing, the rhythm. Her voice cracked. I'm lost. I don't remember how I got here." I lowered the light to her feet. Mud caked her ankles. But the concrete was bone dry. No puddles, no prints. I panned the beam across the wall. My shadow twisted, but at her feet, nothing. No shadow, no reflection. I froze. Rule number 2 screamed, "Do not open the door, no matter who's outside." I knew that, and still, I opened it. Cold air surged in, like something was pulling the shelter inside out. She stepped forward, one hand grazed the frame, left behind a smear of water. No shape, no direction. It shrank slowly, leaving cracks like split skin across old steel. I whispered, "Come with me." She followed, head bowed, footsteps sinking with the rain, like a sound loop that forgot how to end. I brought her to room 4. Light snapped on. Room empty. I motioned her in. She said nothing. Didn't look at me. Just walked in. Like she already knew the floor plan. I locked the door. 3 bolts. Started walking away. But halfway down the hall, I stopped. Turned back. The door was ajar. Locks untouched. I pushed it open. Inside, spotless. Bed untouched. Air still, like no one had ever been there. I stepped toward the mirror by the closet. Fogged from the inside. Scrawled across the center, backward. I used to work here. The handwriting tilted far left, like someone forgot which hand they were born with. I stared, swallowed hard, and for one warped second, I saw her, walking the hall, last night. Not a stranger, a broken memory, returned in a body that hadn't fully formed. 4:12 a.m. A faint spark flickered in the breaker box. Then everything died. No warning, no system alert, just black. The shelter vanished into pure darkness. Emergency lights kicked in. Red, pulsing, like the heartbeat of something dying. The air changed instantly. Dry, bitter. Each breath scraped down my throat like scorched metal dust. The walls vibrated. Ceiling dust drifted into my hair. Scratch. A deep, dragging scrape, like claws, metal on concrete. Then, the south emergency door rattled. Thud, thud, thud. Not fists. It sounded like a forehead slamming into the door. Again and again. The ceiling speaker screeched, stretched thin, like wire pulled past its limit. Then, a voice, childlike, familiar, too familiar. Dad, I'm almost out. You just have to say my name. I froze. That voice, I'd heard it for a year, in my dreams. Since the accident, I stepped back. Red lights flashed, faster. My shadow twisted, like a corrupted image. Something moved above me. I looked up. It was crawling along the vent. Long, wet. Skin black and cracked like burnt rubber. It left a smear with every slither. Drops fell. Shh, like acid on frozen stone. Its face was flat, no eyes, no mouth. Only two pits, deep, glossy, reflecting the red light like frostbitten glass. It stopped. Right above me, I slipped. Fell. Wrist slammed the wall, numb. Back of my head hit tile. Vision doubled. Then, claws. Across my face, ice burned, like dry ice slicing skin. Something thick smeared my throat, black, sticky. Cold like glue that never dries. I screamed, Jamie, Jamie, stop, it's me, it's Dad. No answer, just my own breath, trapped. The thing paused, its body shivered, like a corrupted file trying to load. Then, it lunged. I rolled. Shoulder hit steel, flashlight flew. My face scraped the floor. Blood, copper, dirt in my mouth. I ran. Behind me, that sound, wet, dragging, like it wanted to wear my skin from the inside. The smell chased me. Rust, rot. Wet soil mixed with burnt wire. Red lights pulsed like a countdown. I turned into a side hallway. Narrow. Dark. My foot caught. I hit the floor hard. Behind me, it came. I rolled. My hand slammed into a boot. I looked up. Harper, standing still, unmoving, backlit by red. Do something! It's coming! She didn't look at me, didn't blink, as if she couldn't even see me. The thing slid from the dark. Long, wrong. It passed me, didn't care. It looked at her. Then, it bowed, and its body collapsed, melted, like wax dropped into freezing water. The black liquid hit the floor, silent. I collapsed too, chest tight, lungs locked on my neck, a handprint, small, cold, black, still wet. I gasped, barely a whisper left. You know what that was, don't you? Harper didn't speak, she just stared, like she'd seen this before. Then she reached into her coat, pulled out Bell 27. Her hand shook. She handed it to me, then let go. Ding! The sound echoed, but not from the hallway, not from the speakers. It rang from inside me, like someone struck a memory I wasn't supposed to keep. That's when I knew. The bell had already rung. We just didn't hear it. Not because it never rang, but because something made us forget the sound. The next morning, the rain had stopped. Sky, dull gray, like fogged glass. No wind, no birds. The relief van had pulled up. The driver didn't step out, just looked at me. That look, like he was waiting for confirmation of something he wasn't supposed to ask. I held the clipboard, black ink pen. My job, check off 27 names. One by one they came out. No talking, no eye contact, no turning back. Just footsteps, shoes tapping wet cement. And my pen, 24. A man, shaking. 25. An old woman. 26. Younger, black backpack. The last stepped out. I marked the final line, Then I looked up. Far down the hallway, a figure, small, white dress, hair covering her face, walking slow, not in line. No one turned. I looked down. 28 marks, 27 names. My chest locked. I ran to the camera room. Monitors buzzed with static, foggy, glitching, like broken film on a dying reel. I rewound the exit feed. At mark 19, I froze. The girl in white, head down, walking alone. Then, gone. Frame skip, erased. I rewound, fast-forwarded. Nothing. No footage of her leaving her room. No door open, no keycard log. My hands shook. I pulled up the logs. Then, don't. I jolted. Harper, behind me. When did she get there? Her shadow stretched long on the wall. Her voice, dry, thin, like it scraped through brick. Don't dig. If you know, they'll know too. I nodded. She didn't speak again, just walked out. Silent, like she only existed to interrupt. I stayed, staring at the static. No Harper now, just me, and the hum of dead air. I should have stood up, should have walked away, but my hand stayed on the mouse, like it was waiting for someone else's command. I didn't think, didn't choose, I just clicked. Camera 2B. The feet twitched, warped like brainwaves under pressure. At the far end of the hall, under the pulsing red light, She stood, still, face hidden, arms limp, no shadow, no trail, no breath. The air around her, flat. I leaned forward, gripping the desk. Then, she turned her head, slow, unnatural, half her face smudged, like a sketch that never finished rendering. And beside her was me, black uniform, clipboard, pressed to the wall, staring at the camera. I was here, but I was also there, my eyes on the screen, looking straight at me. My stomach dropped. Chair flew back. I ran. Cold flow under my boots, flashlight rattling, turned into 2B. Red lights pulsing, empty. Just smears of mud along the wall. I touched it. Cold, sticky, thick like frozen glue. I followed it. Trail turned the corner. At the far end, a figure moved. Same height, same build, black uniform, clipboard, face blurred like fogged glass. I chased it, just a few steps. Then, a locked steel door. No shadow, no footsteps, no breath. Just a smear of mud, twisting across the floor, ending in a handprint. Small, pressed into the steel, frozen in place. I looked around. No one. But the mud was still warm. Next to it, a ring of keys coated in dirt. Then, ting, the silver bell, soft, cold, like laughter dragged across ice. I spun around. Nothing. But I knew something had just been standing there. Somewhere behind my eyes, a screen lit up, and on it, me, standing in the hallway, facing the camera, as if someone had just stepped out of a dream I didn't know I was still in. The archive was buried in the lowest basement, always locked. Only Harper had the key. Every time I asked, she said the same thing. Same voice, same weight. There's nothing in there you need. This morning, doing a routine check in the maintenance corridor, I saw the lock had been popped. Key still in the latch, door cracked. Just enough to slip through. I wasn't planning to go in, but my foot crossed the line. Before I could stop it, a blast of cold air hit my face. Thick, damp, heavy, smelled like rotting paper and rust, like the room was decomposing from inside time itself. I pushed the door open. Fine dust stuck to my hands. It stung, like hot ash clinging to skin. The lights buzzed overhead. That flickering green-blue glow washed across the floor like water from a broken tank. Concrete walls, rebar jutting out, steel cabinets stacked to the ceiling, each marked in fading silver chalk. T1, T2, T3. I walked deeper. My footsteps echoed weird, hollow, off. No fans, no vents, no hum. Just me and someone else's breath tickling the back of my neck. I reached cabinet 9. Its door hung wide. Hinges groaned, like they were trying to stop me, but too late. A file lay on the floor. Top page folded down. Faded text across the cover. Incident report. Carroway, November 1973. A note ran down the margin. Shaky, handwritten. Tech Crew 12 was trapped after the flood. Distress signals came from sub-level B. Every time we opened the door, someone vanished. Last page, scrawled in smeared blue ink. I didn't open the door, but I couldn't leave either. I think this place is keeping me here and using me to pull others in. Signed, H. Harper. I backed up, hands trembling. The folder slipped. Cover flapped open. Something slid out. A photo. Face down. Black and white. Edges scalloped. Corner stained. I flipped it over. 7 people. Standing in front of the main control room. Caption below. Blurred but readable. Scheduled night shift. March 1997. The lights flickered. That cold green glow hit the photo. Bled into the ink. The person in the middle. Dark uniform. Clipboard. Staring just off camera. Jawline. Shoulders. Bridge of the nose. It looked exactly like me. I brought it closer. Metal name tag on the chest. Caught the light just right. It spelled my name perfectly. Every letter, even the tiny dot I always draw slightly off center. My ears rang. The photo buzzed in my hand like static was crawling out of the paper. Memory twisted. Time unraveled. Like a VHS tape melting in reverse. I had been there, held that clipboard, looked into that lens, smiled that smile, and the more I tried to remember, the faster it all dissolved. I bent to grab the folder. A new line had appeared on the final page, still wet, still bleeding ink. They'll ask you, have you worked this shift before? Don't answer. The handwriting was mine, not Harper's. Mine. The lights blinked. Once, twice. My shadow stretched long across the wall. But it wasn't just a shadow. It wore the same uniform, held the same clipboard, and it had already turned to look at me before I even moved. That morning, Harper was gone. The dining hall sat empty, admin wing locked tight. Only the wind moved, sliding down the halls, carrying the smell of scorched metal and melted plastic, pushing against my skin like something was scanning me. I opened the control room. The door hinge screamed, like someone had just slipped inside before me. The air, heavy, thick with ozone, smelled like a storm waiting to strike. The main monitor flickered red. A single message blinked over and over. Night shift, unassigned. Then, the PA crackled. A voice spilled through, stitched from broken tape. Don't let the new one know too much, not before they try to leave. On the desk, the silver bell shivered. Ting. The sound stabbed into my ear, then dropped like a spike down my spine. I grabbed the radio. Harper! Only static. Then, a breath. Close. Right beside my ear. I spun around. The door, wide open. Cold wind flooding in. The hallway lights glitched. Then everything flipped red. Emergency mode. A side monitor snapped on. text glowed across the screen like it had been waiting. Rule 4. Never leave the door open more than 30 seconds. I ran to slam it shut. That's when Camera 4 activated. On the screen was me, standing in the far isolation room, under pale lights, eyes locked to the lens. Clipboard, black uniform, hair tilted left, perfect match. I stood from the chair. The thing on screen stood too. 1 second late, I raised my hand. So did it. But its fingers melted, soft like wax. They dragged a white smear across the lens. A streak, blurry, only visible from the other side. Then, cold shot up my spine. My wrist went numb because I saw it. Its fingernail pushed through the glass. I staggered back. It didn't move. Its mouth opened, but made no sound. Then the words appeared. "Mom, she's still waiting. In the basement." My heart locked. No one knew that. Just me and her. From the night I was 8, the thing smiled. It was her smile. It wasn't reminding me. It was inviting me, calling me back, like it was finally my turn. Rule 1 echoed in my mind. When the bell rings, return to your room. But now, the sound felt distant, muffled, like it came through water. I didn't turn back, because that thing knew something only I and my mother could have known. Because in its eyes was something too real, and that smile was hers. I stepped forward, 1 step, then another. I couldn't tell if I was chasing it, or if it was calling me home. The screen blinked, then cut to black, like it had finished its part. I ran into the hallway, red lights pulsing. At the far end, my shadow turned the corner, slipped through a door left half open. Footsteps echoed, but also another breath, right behind my neck, like something was running beside me. I chased it, but when I reached the door, only a set of keys, scratched, like they'd been ripped from someone's grip. The floor, wet, smelled like fresh mud. A smear trail led to the steel door at the end, still locked, and on its surface, a handprint, small, pressed tight, 4 fingers down, the last one stretched long, like it tried to hold the door open just a little longer. I touched the steel, frozen. It trembled, like something on the other side was still pulling. I froze. The version of me I saw had no clipboard, no bell, no expression in its eyes. Whatever I chased, it might not have been me. Across the hallway, a girl in a white dress, head down, holding a different bell. The image glitched, then blinked out. I ran back to the control room. The monitor jerked. Red text appeared. 1 beat at a time. Rule 3. Never be separated from the silver bell. I stopped. The bell on the desk rang once, then fell silent. I leaned closer. Underneath, the number had changed. 28. Etched into the metal. Carved over the old 27. Still warm. Faint smoke curled from the edge, like someone had burned away a memory just long enough to write my name. I didn't remember picking it up. No one handed it to me. It was just there, like it had always been mine. The screen blinked again. Night shift assigned. This place was built to protect people, but not everything inside is human. And sometimes it doesn't want to leave. It wants to stay. It wants to be you.